All right. Well, let's do one more story about personal responsibility, shall we?
All right.
We've talked about this before, and the stigma that is follows certain people in our society.
Okay.
The gays get a lot of bad rap.
That is sexually confused Americans, please.
Well, see,
gays.
Yeah. Well, regardless,
I look. I'm trying to keep it on above board here.
Well, we've had these discussions on the show about this attitude among a lot of gay men, especially, that they do not take precautions seriously.
No, they tend to just throw the dick wherever it lands.
More or less.
Right.
And they're just willing to just fuck anything that moves.
They live their life like they're living in a season of Oz.
Right. And apparently, are you familiar with the term Chem Sex?
Chem Sex?
Chem Sex.
No.
This is really nothing new. It's just that there's more advanced drugs that people take, hallucinogens, during sexual exploits that supposedly heighten the sexual experience.
Okay.
Years ago, back in the 80s, they used to have amyl nitrate. Remember that? They called it poppers.
Yeah.
That, if you're like really into it and you grab some of this amyl nitrate and you take a big whiff, it heightens the sexual, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's all kinds of things now out there, ecstasy and things like that just sort of make you lose your mind.
Right.
Well, chem sex is on the rise, especially among the gay community.
Okay.
And again, because a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them take a lot of unnecessarily risks that they are ending up either diseased or just dead.
Damn. I mean, yeah, damn.
Right. The chem sex scene, an increasingly popular and sometimes lethal public health problem. The young couple's day wound down like any other ordinary Monday. The men took their dog for an afternoon trip to the vet, followed by dinner and wine at a London flat. So this is over in Europe.
Right.
Where they're a little more promiscuous. Not quite as uptight as us Americans are.
No.
God forbid we let some dude dressed in a dress use a woman's bathroom.
Hey! That is perfectly legal in this world.
Right.
In Obama's America.
Sure. But after midnight in January, 18-year-old Miguel Jimenez, Jimenez, Jimenez.
Jimenez.
Jimenez?
That's Jimenez.
Is that how you say it?
Yes.
The J is an H?
Yeah, he's definitely Latino.
Right. Miguel Jimenez decided he wanted something a little more exotic.
All right.
He invited his boyfriend.
Sexy.
Yes. An up-and-coming lawyer named Harry Hendren.
Harry Hendren.
Not Harry and the Hendersons, but Harry Hendren.
Right.
Then 34. So this kid's 18, and he's like hanging out with a 34-year-old dude. To take GHB.
Oh. Date rape drug.
Recreational users ingest GHB, a depressant and a psychoactive drug, to heighten arousal and spark feelings of euphoria.
Yeah, that's what they spike drinks with.
Mm-hmm.
It's GHB.
Yeah, it's roofies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A controlled substance in Britain and the United States. It is sometimes found at raves, and more recently in a small but controversial chemsex subculture of London, New York, and other urban areas.
Well, if it's regulated, what disease do they have that they issue a GHB?
Mm-hmm.
What would the disease be that makes that something that would be prescribed to you?
Well, is it prescribed? Is it a prescription drug?
Well, they said,
or is it just an antidepressant? I don't know enough about it.
I thought it was something that made you forget.
But I'm under the impression that a GHB is sort of like manufactured by,
like meth.
Yeah, it's kind of like you do it in your own home lab.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
It's Walter White type drugs.
Right.
Hendren declined the drug, saying he had to work the next day.
Okay.
Jimenez took it anyway.
Well,
it was quite a nice experience, and we went to sleep, Hendren told the BBC. I woke up and he was dead next to me.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but
I mean, but again, this is this risky behavior stuff.
Yeah.
After phoning for help, the lawyer tried in vain to resuscitate Jimenez.
Right.
At one point, blood starts to trickle out of his mouth, and I'm thinking, he must be alive, but he's not.
No. Why would you think that?
I don't know.
Comes squirting out of his mouth.
I don't know. I've broken his ribs or something, and moving that blood around when combined with alcohol, GHB can be fatal, slowing breathing, or inducing comas.
Oops.
When police arrive at Hendren's apartment with the paramedics, the officers arrest the lawyer. Hendren pleaded guilty in March for possession with intent to sell GHB and a stimulant, Mephedrone, Mephedrone, Mephedrone? Mephedrone? I don't know what that is. It's meth, MEPH, Mephedrone. I don't know what that is.
Me either.
The use of such drugs is a central aspect of the Chem Sex scene.
Okay.
In November, the BMJ medical journal published an editorial warning that chemsex needs to become a public health priority. Chemsex, as they define it, is typically practiced by men who have sex with men while intoxicated, high on chemical cocktails of mephedrone, GHB, methamphetamine, or other mind-altering substances. Dude, I need to get really fucked up so you can stick your dick in my ass.
This is really sexy. Jeez, oh man, this is.
But see, this is how the gay community gets a bad reputation.
Because of assholes that do this.
Well, it's because of the risky behavior factor.
Right.
The big gay, or not the big gay, but the big AIDS epidemic of the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
This was primarily among gay men.
Yeah.
And it was because of due to risky behaviors of just fucking each other with no condoms, no nothing. And this goes back to the story we did last year, too, of that guy that, was hooking up with people on,
mm-hmm.
What was he using? He was using like some kind of like Craigslist or something.
Yeah, something.
And he was just like banging everybody and spreading AIDS around to everybody.
Yeah. Of course, he didn't care.
But the recipient obviously didn't care either.
Oh, why would they? They're getting their ass fucked. It's fun.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's just the whole risky behavior. It's just like, oh, I'll take this drug. Oh, fuck me in the ass. Oh, that's okay. Don't use a condom. Go ahead.
You're sounding like a really old guy.
Yeah, I am.
How dare you sound responsible?
Yeah, sure. How dare you sound responsible?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Just take some GHB and let some neighbor fuck you in the ass.
Right.
For sakes, man. You're missing out.
Chris Aikens, my favorite line, I think, of all the years we've done this show together.
Yeah.
If this guy gets your phone number, he's getting his dick in your ass. Mephedrone, also known as meow meow.
Meow meow.
Meow meow.
Oh, boy.
Is a synthetic stimulant derived from the cat, an African herb.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. You can definitely tell now that this is in the gay community. Because there's no way straight men are going to be talking about, let's take some meow meow.
Yeah.
No way.
You got some meow meow? You got some meow meow? I'll let you fuck my ass.
Yeah, get out of my house.
A GHB use appears to be spiking in popularity in the United States. Mephedrone is accruing new users in the United Kingdom. Although chemists first synthesized mephedrone in 1929, it's a relative newcomer to the recreational drug pantheon.
Okay.
A recent paper in the journal Lancet notes that it appeared in London around 2007.
Right.
By 2015, it was responsible for 34 deaths, according to the Lancet study, up from 22 in 2014.
Okay.
So these guys are taking these drugs, and then they're just going, let's do it.
Crazy.
Taking GHB, mephedrone, and crystal meth together is meant to induce a feeling of instant rapport with sexual partners.
What?
The ultimate goal is for better sex for long periods of time, frequently with multiple partners.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get railed in the ass enough.
Yeah. Need miles of dick riding in that ass.
Yeah.
God's sakes.
Next. But Hannibal McCall, an author of the editorial and the London-based reproductive health expert. Why do they need reproductive health expert? You can't get pregnant by getting fucked in the ass.
Yeah, well, this guy would know.
Right. She told the Washington Post in November she wouldn't call it outlandish behavior. Rather, she wants Chem Sex participants to be aware of the risks, which include unprotected sex and sharing needles.
Yeah. Risk number one, your asshole is not supposed to be fucked by anything.
Right.
That's rule number one. Jeez.
You're a bigot.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm in everything, I guess. I'm if it's an it or an ism, I guess it relates to me somehow, but come on. This is just retarded.
Right. A lot of people having chem sex make informed decisions just as people using alcohol make informed decisions.
Yeah, okay. That works out well.
The extent of chem sex popularity has been difficult to pin down. One of the few studies to specifically address chem sex consists of interviews with 30 men.
Mm-hmm.
Men are just disgusting pigs, aren't they? I mean, seriously.
This is just a horrendous story.
In a survey of more than 1,000 men who have had sex with men in South London, 1 in 5 reported participating in chem sex at the point in which in the past 5 years. Part of the difficulty in assessing chem sex prevalence is because it's such a new phenomenon, journalist Alex Kleinberg said, who detailed his experience with chem sex scene for the Huffington Post, wrote that it was recently as 2008, nobody was talking about chem sex.
No one.
Yeah. What draws people to chem sex is up for debate. According to the handful of studies that exist, men may take chem sex drugs to manage negative feelings such as a lack of confidence and self-esteem, internalized homophobia, and stigma about their HIV status. Oh, my God. Dude, just drug me up. I got HIV, but I don't want to tell you about it.
So give me a drug and then I'll be able to fuck you and ruin your life.
Right.
Holy smokes.
See, there you go. Again, risky behavior.
Holy cow.
Mm-hmm. And again, this is the reason if you're a gay man or whatever, this does not necessarily apply to you, but this is how people formulate their biases against you, because it's like, oh man, you are like an animal,
right?
You You guys will fuck anything, won't you?
And the sad part is that, you know, much like any stereotype, this is still the minority. You know any gay guys?
Personally,
yeah,
I'm gonna really think hard about it. I don't think
not on a not well is your answer. Right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. I've said it several times. My cousin is gay.
Okay.
And he's got a gay husband or wife or whatever.
He's got a long-term significant other
partner, and they did the marriage thing, and you know, he's been with this dude for fucking 20 years or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, for a long fucking time.
Sure.
And never once does any of this come up when in any sort of discussion.
Right.
You know, or activity or whatever.
Yeah, but they're not active in the club scene, are they?
No. They're my age. So
well, of course, this seems to be talking about the club scene where these guys are just hooking up with everybody and anybody.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they settle down at some point?
Well, I mean, when they're in hospice care due to their HIV.
They settle way down. Jesus, dude.
They can barely lift their head off the pillow.
Shit.
It's just fact.
It's the line of the day. I love it.
McCall and her colleagues wrote in the BMJ, others argue marginalized men use chemsex as a bonding mechanism or simply because chemsex feels good.
Well, normal sex feels pretty good too with a chick.
Yeah.
Can't say that I've ever needed to fucking GHB myself so that I could fuck a chick.
Yeah.
Jeez.
In an interview with the British magazine Gay Times,
you got a subscription to that?
No. BBC Radio 4 journalist Mobeen Azhar recounted his experience hunting for chemsex antidotes.
Wow.
I actively searched for someone to tell me how they made an informed and calculated choice to use chemsex, and that for them, the chem scene is just recreational. Okay. What he found instead, Azhar said, were stories tinged with sadness. Even those who told me sex on chems made them feel like a Don, D-O-N, like a Don.
A Don? Like a Don Juan, maybe?
I guess, would follow up such celebratory statements with tales of rejection, regret, loneliness, and longing for intimacy, he said.
Okay.
These became reoccurring themes among every chem user I spoke to.
Wow.
I think they sung that song very eloquently back in the 70s on Urban Cowboy. Looking for love in all the wrong places.
Putting my dick in real dirty places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hendren, the lawyer, has seen a brief encounter with chemsex sweep away a promising future. Before Jimenez's death, Hendren was a rising star of barristers who had represented Parliament member Nadine Dorries and celebrated such as Stella English, a winner of the British version of The Apprentice. And he was well connected, having purchased about $1,400 worth of chemsex drugs from a producer at the BBC.
Wow.
Now, once a month, Hendren travels to Yemen's home country of Colombia to visit his boyfriend's grave. He makes a trek over there once a month?
That's a haul.
I may go to prison, and whatever I get, I deserve. Well, at least you'll be locked up with other men.
Yeah. They won't have they won't need GHB to bang you in the ass.
Right. I have made some stupid decisions, and you have to stand up and accept that, Hendren said. Mm-hmm. But that's the price the drugs make you pay. On Monday, London's Central Criminal Court sentenced Hendren to 140 hours of community service.
That's it?
That's all he got.
For killing his boyfriend.
Well, he didn't necessarily kill him. He just provided the drugs. So that wraps up the Chemsex.
Wow.
Who knew all this was going on? Not only is there sextortion going on the internet, but there's Chemsex going on in the gay clubs. Or
to tell you, but there's nothing wrapped up in the gay community, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, oh man.
Yep. Basically, unprotected sex is the rule in the gay community.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody is passing along all kinds of deadly diseases.